I found once you face the anger, you learn you don't need it. I agree. I think anger is very healthy though. So it's okay to like hold on to it. It's just about like the best thing is like people always say like, oh, you gotta like, you know, let go or blah, blah, blah. No, you don't have to let go. You just have to create healthy relationships with your emotions. So you have, once again, the space to go through them, right? So it's not a tightly wound circle of just emotional. It's emotion, you feel the space, and it gets bigger as you learn to do that. Most of the time, anger comes from shame or embarrassment for me. And just being able to vocalize it with my therapist has really changed my perspective on life. I mean, my most recent therapy session, I won't tell you guys what it was about, but I was on the floor bawling, like in hysterics. And I said something I never said aloud before. And I said something, I told my therapist about an emotion and something that I didn't even let my body ever feel because it was too much. So I literally blocked it out. But just by voicing it with somebody, even though it took me like 20 minutes of probably the worst crying I've ever done in my life, was really nice. And I've felt a lot more at peace. What is it they say? So every time you remember the original memory with all of the other times you've remembered it, right? So it's not like every time you remember, you're not remembering your last memory. Every time you remember, you're remembering the core memory with every other time you've remembered it. So if you have an association with a bad memory, and every time you remember it, you keep reassociating with bad feelings, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, right? But often when you vocalize it, right, you're letting go of some type of emotion that's held on to it, and it gets a lot easier. GY Media, thank you for the 200 biddies. Taco Ma Blues, thank you for the sub, the gifted sub. Are we talking about cringy moments in our memory? No, we're not talking about any particular moments. Yes, vocalizing it is very important, Adriana. Anytime you need someone to listen to, I am here for you. Oh, well, thank you, Master Shira. That's very nice of you. Memory credits. It does. I didn't know that. I just learned that at 32 years old, literally the last therapy session I had. And I just glitched. And it changed my life. I'm not here for you. Girl, you're my only friend that showed up and is here for me. Lies. All right, Kauai. I'm not a medical doctor. Sometimes things are unfortunate. It's good to know what those things are and why. I love that. Yes. Oh, Anaya? Yeah, she wants to play. I think before my accident, I would have continued on the same high-speed train that I was on. And at some point in my life, I don't know when, I would have imploded. How I handled that implosion later on in life, I don't know. Because maybe I would have gained the wisdom. I started doing the self-work before my accident. I started reading and putting in self-work before my accident, right? The thing about the accident is it caused me to have the time to deeply dive into self-work, right? So I was able to spend an entire year meeting with a therapist I did 4 times a week the first 3 months I met with a therapist, right? And then 2 times a week and ketamine therapy. So my back injury afforded me the luxury of time to put effort into myself and healing. So I don't know. I can't tell you. I have no idea. Would I have done it? Would I be? I don't know. I'm really not quite sure.